Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Zymox, and I'm your chief show attendant. On behalf of the two hosts and the rest of the crew, welcome aboard Weird Wednesday Flight number 13, non-stop, from your current location to parts unknown. Our flight will be of about 2 hours, and we'll be flying at the speed of sound. At this time, make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position, and that your seatbelt is currently fastened. Enjoy the ride.
What's up, weirdos? How's it going? Welcome to another edition of Weird Wednesday.
My cat sounds like a chainsaw back there.
Yeah. How's everybody doing tonight on this middle of the week?
This fine summer evening.
There we go. Yeah.
Is Ariana? That was too sweet. Thank you so much.
In typical Weird Wednesday fashion, I set the stuff up earlier today. Everything's working great. 5 minutes before I go online, I get in here, sit down at the computer. I only have audio on the right side. What the hell? So I got to restart my computer, reboot everything, and then magically it's working again.
Oh, you work late, Heather.
Yeah.
Glad you're home.
I just got home not too long ago. I wasn't working though. Had to go pick Darcy up from work.
Oh, I'm glad you didn't have to be later tonight.
Yep. Tonight was her last night for 10 or 12 days, something like that.
Oh, nice.
School's out for summer.
Is she just does she already know what she wants to do, or is she just going to play it by ear?
Well, she's working the summer camp, so
Oh,
she's
cool.
got like 10 days off, and then she goes back and works for like 3 more weeks, a bunch of doubles and other stuff.
What type of summer camp?
It's just the school. I don't know what they have kids doing there.
And so does she work in the nursing or medical with the kid, or does she do?
Yeah.
See, I have so much respect for that because when I was in 5th grade, we went to Redwood Glen, our first overnight, camping trip thing away from everybody, and night hikes, and it's like a rite of passage. Well, day and a half before, I got so sick. Me and this other girl, the talent show, we couldn't do it. We had to live in the nurse's station for like a day and a half.
Well,
Complete misery. All of our friends having fun. Um, Practiced for all this stuff, and it was the people in there that made it not as miserable as it could have been
yeah,
considered.
yeah.
In the nurse's
Wow.
station.
Stop.
Oh, love the gurgles.
Sounds like a chainsaw in there.
I know he had gurgles in his throat. Oh, Deborah would like a health update
On me,
on you.
I'm doing okay. I got this weird pain in my chest right here. It's like I don't know. I can't tell if it's a bone pain or a muscle pain. Doesn't hurt all the time, but certain ways I move, it kind of hurts. And I mean, my incisionary place is still pretty tender. I did something the other day. I like bent over and like across something, and something poked me right in the chest, and I was like, "Whoa!" Got my attention really quick. But yeah, other than that, I'm okay. I still get tired easy because I still got the stupid AFib going on. But yeah,
I'm going to ask you about that yesterday.
I'm back to doing some stuff. Been playing some band gigs. We got band practice tomorrow night. It's kind of cool because I don't have to lift any gear. So
That's
I
what I say.
I own all the PA stuff and everything, the speakers and all that. So I just bring it and I just let everybody else load it up. It's kind of it's like having roadies. I'm like,
Yeah.
thanks, I get used to this. I'm gonna milk this for all it's worth.
Heck yeah. All
Uh,
those years of it. That's all good, except, I would be able to get out and go and be home, like, but I got to carry all the gear. Got to take it down the street, around a corner, up a
yeah,
hill.
but yeah, I usually just have a stool or something on the stage in case I feel a little weary, and then I can sit down. But yeah, for the most part, I do okay. 3 or 4 hours. Come
That's not a
home and
lot.
yeah, yeah. It's crazy. We do 4 hour gigs a lot, but we normally do like 3 hour gigs. And we just picked up this new place that we're playing at. And of course, they pay the least and it's the longest amount of playing time, of course. But it's a really cool place to play.
Like good vibes.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're cheapskates. I hope Nara's not watching. But yeah, they only give us like a $35 tab for the whole band. And they pay us less than any other venue we play at. But the tips are good there. And the place is pretty epic. It's like the view and everything is pretty amazing. So we're gonna do it for a little while. But yeah, it figures that the place we play a full 4 hours, they pay us less than the other venues that pay us more for playing 3 hours.
Yeah.
But I got a lot of friends
I
and
got
bigger bands.
friends.
I got friends. I got friends of my own. Couple, anyways. Um, yeah, they're in like big bands, and I'll talk to them, and they're like, "How long a set do you play?" I'm like, 3 or 4 hours." They're like, "Holy crap, dude! I'd die if we had to play 3 or 4 hours." They
That's
come out,
good.
and they got opening bands, and then they end up playing for like an hour, and they don't have to set anything up. They got crew and roadies and all that stuff that do all the heavy lifting. They're like, I haven't played a 4 hour gig in like 20 years. We'd die. uh, we take breaks though, so It's not like a 4 hour straight gig, but it's a lot of music. Faux show.
How many
We got
songs?
another. We'd probably do like 20 per set. And we got
Holy cow.
something, I don't know. We play an hour of the first set and then take a 15 or 20-minute break and then a few 45-minute sets. But altogether, I don't know, we got like 80 or 100 songs, something like that. We don't play them all during a show, but
Like mix them around, and
yeah.
that's good. And you still learn like new things. Why does it keep saying live studio restreamed? It's using my mic and camera. Well, yeah, like, but why didn't it say that before?
What is it saying? I don't see it.
When I mouse over the tab for this, does your restream say live studio restream and it has like a little live round circle?
Where it says restream?
Yeah, like in your browser tab.
Nope.
See, because I don't know if I accidentally set something up to my YouTube when I was trying to fix it and like made its own separate
Yeah,
event.
I got it. Clicked where you can share it to wherever you want. So I don't know.
I think I got to give it some allowances.
Yeah, Zariana, we should get more money for playing. Yeah, I make basically the same amount of money playing in a band now that I did 30 years ago. It's ridiculous. It's a good night if we make, 150 or 200 bucks a piece.
Hmm. Oh, we've got a Facebooker. We've got Craig in the house. Sup, Craig?
Craig, Janice, Zariana, Deborah.
Makes me think of Friday. Sup,
Sup,
Craig?
How you go and lose your job on your day off? That first Friday's movie was awesome.
It's the best.
Whew, don't nobody go in there 35, 45 minutes. What are you doing? Pouring this out. We ain't got no milk. You better put some damn water on that cereal, need it.
Got the peanut butter and no jelly. Got the.
Yep.
Oh God, the dad. Remember his actual cooking channels he did on YouTube? They were the best. It was like, like low budget cooking and how to make like fried chicken in a brown paper bag, which was not a bad idea. Like these, like shake and bake, like the shake and bake. That was a fun show.
Yeah, it was. What's his name?
And
George.
You didn't get all fancy. It was his kitchen, his actual kitchen.
God, I can't believe that movie came out in 1995.
My dad was so happy when we got to meet him. John Withers.
There you go. That's his name.
When we got to meet him at Tommy T's, I was so excited because he loved him, you know. And at the end, it's like stand in line and take a picture with him. And I probably showed you the picture. My dad's just like, yeah, I got my boy.
Yeah.
He tastes so good, make you want to slap your mama. I got that humor from my dad. Big worm.
Big worm.
My bike.
Oh shit! Hide your jewelry. Here come Debo.
Damn!
That's when the lady was working in the like, you know, I love your mama. Swings her hair back and gives that look like, no, you don't. Those are the best movies ever that you can watch over and over and over and over and over and over.
Time I come in the kitchen, you in the kitchen, in the goddamn refrigerator, eating up all the food.
I like chicken. I like hog maws.
I like pig's feet. That's what we saw because my dad's birthday is November 30th. So it's like close to Christmas time. And Friday, like the Christmas, Santa got knocked out with the tree.
Yeah.
When that movie came out, that's what he wanted to do for his birthday, was a family trip to the movies to see Friday.
You got knocked the fuck out, man!
And we had a great time.
But yeah, I'm doing okay health wise, you know. Still ain't gonna win no races, but
Are you really trying?
no. Hell no. Gotta go going out to the disc golf park this weekend. They're doing a tournament for me.
I saw that. How cool.
Yeah. I'm gonna go out there and hang out. I may try to throw a few discs, but I ain't ready to play yet.
Oh, that would be scary. I'm just thinking about body parts and cracking things and yeah, I would not want to do any of that yet.
Yeah.
Even if I was in like a full body cast like this and you had me on a swivel, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think watching is good for now.
Yeah, probably so. Yeah, I want to, but yeah, I've gone to do a few things. You know, I'll go to lift something, and I'm just like, whoop, nope.
Listen to that.
But I can feel, yeah, like I say, whatever's in it's like right there, and it's like I move a certain way, and it kind of feels like somebody's like. With a knife.
Ooh, is that where a new artery or something would have been put, like down that way, or no?
Maybe that, or it's right off of where they spread my bones open. So who knows? I could have got a fracture in the front too.
Oh, I thought it was cut in the middle.
Yeah, it is, but they split me open.
Yeah, I've seen this scar here in the middle.
Yeah, can't really see it, but
oh yeah, and you're still a little swollen. I see this little swelling.
Yeah, it's still a little puffy. I'm puffy.
That's probably why
But yeah, they cut me open there, and then they put the spreaders in and spreaded my. That's why my
Okay, so like they spread your ribs a gynecologist tool, like that part, or they spread your ribs apart over here on top of it.
yeah, pretty much.
So they cut you here and spread you here.
Yep.
Oh, Rob.
Yeah, that's why when my back was hurting, the doctor was like, it was right under my shoulder blade, and he was like, "Yeah, chances are when we spread your ribs open, you probably got a fracture in one of your ribs. Nothing we can do about it. It'll go away eventually, but yeah, it's gonna hurt like hell." And it did. Like I said before, I was at my first band gig, and I reached over to grab one of my gear bags, and when I did, something in my back was like pop pop, and I just sat there for a minute, and I was like, I don't know what that was. I was hoping it wasn't my chest coming open, and then I was like, still had my guitar around my neck, and I was like, wait a minute, my back's not hurting anymore. It's like whatever popped like instantly relieved my back pain, but now it's in the front instead of the back.
Oh,
now.
maybe it was like shift when things like shift and it pinches like down on the nerves.
Yeah,
Like
that's
something-
kind of what it feels like is if I move a certain way, it feels like something gets pinched or something. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Yeah. Yeah. I went to watch a video of open heart surgery, and
you did.
I watched it when my brother had it done. I watched the whole thing, and I'm like, oh man, that's pretty brutal. Yeah, but that was like, several years back, and a couple of weeks ago, I was like, yeah, I'm going to see what they did to me. And I made it to the part where they cut the guy open and then started sawing your bones. And I was like, nope, not too early, not ready.
Okay, I was gonna say, I don't know. The way I am, I would probably just want to read about what they're doing and the pros, cons, all that. Normally I would want to watch certain things to see how they do it, but if it came to like my eyes or something like that, I don't think I want to actually.
Yeah.
I think it would just mess with my head really bad. Like sometimes a little ignorance is okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Like right before I had my cardiovert, I was laying in the chair. I was going to say the bed, but hell no, I wasn't in the bed. I was in the chair all kicked back, and I'm watching YouTube videos on it, and my nurse comes in and he's like, what are you watching there? And I said, oh, I'm watching how they do these cardio versions. He's like, I don't know if that's a good idea or not. I was like, yeah, well, at least I know what they're doing to me in the morning.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, I mean, it's probably smarter to do it so you do know what, because it's your body, and if you look at what they're doing in your car, you're kind of probably better to know what they're doing to your body, and especially if something feels weird or goes wrong, then it's like you can kind of be like, wait, what if they did this or that or messed this part or that part up.
Yeah, it's like
I'm just squeamish with my own crap. I can watch blood. I can watch crime scene videos of smeared blood everywhere while I'm eating tomato soup in a sandwich, and like I'm totally fine. But my own blood, like being sucked out or this or that,
Yeah, when I went to the lab to have some blood drawn, and usually I'm in a chair, and I just tell them I'm like, just like use my hand, because they're always like poking around in my arm, and I'm like, just use my hand. You can see the veins in it, just go straight for one of those. And some of them are like, oh no, we're gonna do it in your arm, and then after like 3 pokes, they're like, okay, I guess we'll try your hand. But the one I went to just recently, I was sitting, my hands were right in front of me. You know, my hands were like literally like right here on this bar, like, and I see her like, I usually look away, you know, but I was just like watching her, and she stuck me right in that vein of my hand, and see the blood going through the tube, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is why I usually don't watch this. But luckily, she only filled up like 2 tubes. The last time I had blood drawn at the lab, God, I think they filled up like
Mm.
11 or 12 big tubes of blood. I was like, holy shit, you bunch of vampires. But I got to go back to the doctor that I don't really like on the 10th, and I got to go back and have labs before I go see her. So get to do all that over again, and keep track of all my blood pressure and everything else. At least the stuff I'm on now works. My blood pressure this morning was 97/64.
Mm. What smell is that, Craig?
Yeah.
Like which smell? I can think of a few that wouldn't be too great. I would try the surgery channel sometimes because I'm one of those people that like I learned how to pack gunshot wounds, stab wounds, stuff like that, like quick first aid, things like that. If I'm with somebody that gets shot, how to help them, or if I'm shot, how to do the trinket kits, whatever, things like that. How to pinch off like an artery or something, like if someone's leg. But some of the stuff I just really like with eyeballs. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Yeah. I've watched, like, my brothers had hip surgery and knee surgery and wrist. He's had it, everything. He's like the freaking bionic man. But yeah, I watched some hip and knee surgeries, and I'm like, holy hell, man. They're in there with like a freaking hammer and a chisel. I'm like, damn. No wonder you're sore when you wake up from those surgeries.
Abracadabra. I can't remember. Did you used to work in some type of medical or some type of nursing? Is there, Ariana? I might be wrong, but I feel like for some reason, I know Christina worked in the jails, a corrections officer. I don't think she was a nurse. Nerve block. Yeah, it is amazing.
Yeah, I keep
Oh, I even had a colonoscopy.
I keep putting that off too.
Well, it was a sigmoidoscopy, and then they had to do the throat thing because they didn't know what was wrong with me. And the doctor, he's like, "Watch the screen." Like, I don't want to watch the screen, man. Like, I just wanted to close my eyes
Yeah.
and look through your fingers and saw these like tunnels and everything.
Yeah.
And they make you drink all that yucky stuff.
Oh, that's the worst.
Magnesium something or other.
Yeah.
And then
One of my friends had that. He was like, he drank that stuff, and he was like, stuff ain't working, man. And then we're just sitting there, and he's like, I'll be back. Yeah. He's like, oh, kicked in, eh? Yeah, he was like, that was like one of those white knuckle holding on to the seat type of dumps. Oh, the same with me. I didn't have a colonoscopy or have to drink anything, but the night before my surgery, my nurse was like, you're not gonna like this, but I gotta stick this up your butt.
Oh, suppository.
She didn't say it like that, but I was like, oh man. I was like, okay, I get it, Like, damn, is that an ear of corn? What are you doing? And yeah, nothing. About 45 minutes later, hello. And I couldn't get out of the bed. They wouldn't let me out of bed because I had that stupid immobilizer on my leg with
Oh.
a pump thing going up my groin up to my heart.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get the old bedpan treatment. And yeah, filled up one. And she was like, okay, well, at least you got. I was like, you better line up another one because I ain't done yet.
Oh dear.
Said your magic butt pill has that. It's not my fault.
You're like, "Keep that coming."
I'm just along for the ride now.
You started it. You got to finish it.
Yep. Long train running.
Hurrah.
Yeah.
It's a good thing you have a sense of humor. These things could be horrible. Oh, damn. You froze up. These things would be so much worse if you didn't have a good sense of humor. But I think you froze. Rob. Oh, I was going to try to tickle your chin. Wait, put your yet. That's too cool.
Yeah, the drink they use smells like really. It's like a dumpster fire cocktail.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they said I was one of the best patients they ever had to take care of. I was pretty easygoing. There was a couple nights that I was getting pushed to the limit. The night I kept seeing the thing running around in my room, and finally I was like, "Get the fuck out!" Nurse comes in. Is everything okay? Oh yeah, I'm just seeing things. Don't mind me. Just big black cat running around my room. That and that freaking bed I was laying in. Came back from my cardiovert, and they were like, "All right, we're gonna get you in the bed." I'm like, "No, hell, you're not." Will it be more comfortable? Nope, it won't be more comfortable. Trust me. I'd rather stand in the corner with my freaking nose on the wall than get back in that bed. Hell no. Put my happy ass in the chair.
Yeah.
First couple of nights weren't bad in the bed because, I was high as a kite. So
That's what I was thinking. If they kept you high enough, like you would hopefully just sleep through it. But I know you, and you get like stir crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just doing Tylenol and I forget the name of the other one. I got a bunch.
I'd be like a anti-inflammatory, probably.
Yeah, it's Tramadol.
Oh, that's a narcotic.
Yeah, they were giving me oxycodone and morphine at first, but then it was just the oxy, and I was like, nah, just give me. I was like, this freaking Tylenol, seriously? But I was like blown away how good it worked for me.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck
The
all that other
oxy
shit.
makes you itch.
Yeah, that stuff. I mean, it would definitely help with the pain, but I would just be like, I felt like I had a hangover,
Yeah.
Like I want to get out of here. I don't want to be like plowed the whole time. I get a good pain tolerance. I can deal with a little pain. I'd
I'm
rather
like
have a
codeine.
clear head than just be in the fucking clouds the whole time.
Yeah, I just don't want to like be in pain, but I don't want to be like feeling like I got bugs crawling all over me.
Yeah.
Like codeine and all that makes, and then the oxy makes my stomach feel like, I think it's like the coating on it or something. It just makes
Yeah.
me feel like, ugh.
See, that's what they did give me, Barry, was that my bed had this air bladder thing in it, and it would keep pumping up and like deflating and pump. I'd get comfortable in the bed. I'm like, thank God. And then it'd start inflating, and it felt
Why?
like somebody put a 2x4 under my back, and it's like, and then it would stay inflated more than deflated. So it felt like I was laying there with like a 2x4 or a 4x4 under my back. And I'm like, fucking give me a knife. I'm going to stab this damn thing.
What is even the point of that?
It's so you're not laying in the same position, and, it's supposed to give you a lumbar support and all that. It was a torture device for me, though.
Well, wouldn't it be like the ones that move your back up and down a little bit, or like?
Yeah, and then they kept turning my bed off because I kept like sitting up a little bit, and I wasn't supposed to sit up.
Oh.
But I'm not a back sleeper, and I'm not a flat on my back sleeper. So I kept raising the bed up a little bit. I'm like, this ain't gonna fucking hurt me, And then they got mad at me and they turned my bed off, so I couldn't do it.
Because then you want to sit up a little bit. When you sleep in your bed, you kind of sleep on your side with like your leg over the comforter or like a pillow.
Yeah. Yeah, circulation, and they don't want you getting bed sores, and they want to keep your blood moving, and I get all that. But I was also getting up and walking 3 times a day. The very next morning they had me walking, so I was moving enough. But yeah, that bed, man, what a freaking medieval torture device that thing was. Yeah, old Pee Wee Herman, he was a trip.
Oh, I just found out someone was on it the other day that I never would have thought. Oh, no, not Betty Boop. Wait. Was Betty Boop a character on Pee-wee's Playhouse? No. Well, she was on something. I
Pee-wee's
saw her on a meme.
Yeah, they are, Janice. Yeah, my nurse came in, asked me if I was okay. I'm like, I want to get out of this bed. It's like Satan's cradle. He's like, well, I've never heard anybody describe it quite like that before.
You've got the most descriptive words for.
Came in the last time. Can I get you anything? Give me a gallon of gas and a pack of matches so I could rid the world of this evil Satan's cradle. From then on, I was in the chair. The last 4 or 5 days, I was in the freaking chair.
They're like, he's gonna lose it. Okay, make
Yeah.
sure.
Nurse came in one night. It was like, I don't know, 3 or 4 o'clock, which is almost time for x-rays. And I was like in the chair, but I was leaned over and I had a pillow on the table with my head on the table. And she was like, that just doesn't look very comfortable. I'm like, you're absolutely right. It's not very comfortable. But you know what? It's 100 times more comfortable than that fucking piece of shit bed over there that I refused to get in. She was like, God, you really do hate that bed. I'm like, oh, you have no idea.
You're like, I'm just doing this for the hell of it. Ass up in the air.
Yeah, it's what I hate is I can be sitting out on the couch and like I'll just be like can't keep my eyes open and be like, I get up and go to bed. I get up, I go get in the bed, and then I'm just laying there like freaking wide awake now. What is up with that? That's got to be some kind of neurological disorder, insomniac, something. Go back out, sit on the couch. I'm like, all right, I'm wide awake. Or I can sit in here, like in the morning, I'll get up like super early. For some stupid reason, I always wake up at like 6 o'clock in the morning and get up, make some coffee, come in here, do some stuff on the computer, and then I'm just like, completely nod off.
That's how my pain management, though. Like when the pain is like so bad, I'll spend the whole night. Like I would go from like the bed, and it was like a number bed, whatever. And then I would throw the pillow and a blanket onto the floor, lay there for a minute. Then it's like I get up, go to the couch in the other room, lay there for a little bit, like try to sleep. Then I wake up, it hurts, and it's like this whole cycle of. And then
Yeah.
finally, like once the sun starts coming up ish, I'll get into some position to where my body's tired and it's like, oh, now I could probably get 2 or 3 hours of sleep. And it's already like flipping 7 or 8 o'clock.
Yeah, like, I got one of those purple beds, purple mattresses, and, it's one that like adjusts and vibrates like the cheap hotel battery, cheap hotel beds and everything, and put a quarter in. And it adjusts, and the thing was like super expensive. We got it like, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 years ago. I'm like, holy shit, this is the most expensive bed I've ever bought. Is it really worth it? And yeah, when I came home from the hospital and I got to sleep in my own bed, and I still like couldn't just, get up out of bed like real easy. I had to really watch the way I moved and everything. But I could hit the button and that thing would like sit me up, and I could just swing my feet around, put them on the floor. I'm like, yep, it was worth it. And even now, like, some
Hey,
nights.
what kind of bed is it?
What's that?
What kind of bed? Not just a sleep number, right? It's one of the
Purple. The purple nurple bed.
So you do. It has like the like one side can go up and the other side like doesn't have to type thing.
Yeah, it adjusts all over the place.
And then like you can feel like one side harder and one side softer if you want.
It doesn't really do that, but each side is adjustable independently.
Oh, because the sleep number bed, like each side, like you would like pump it up and then pump it down. But it was weird because there's like a hard line in the middle, which
Yeah.
was always like really, even if you put like a mattress cover over it,
Yeah.
it was just kind of weird.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. I had to experiment with pillows a bit,
Yeah.
but I got a couple that I really like now.
They can be your best friends, man.
Yeah. And like having this surgery and all, like if I am laying on my back, like I learned that I got to have like a pillow, like pillows under my arms, because if you're laying there and you let your arms go back, that's like spread in your chest, which wasn't good for me.
Yeah, you make like a little horseshoe, like a circle, like have so you're kind of sitting up but down, and then your arms are elevated up.
Yeah. I was in bed one night and I got this little rolling cart. We got these carts that you get them at Michael's. They're like art carts or whatever, but got one of those on the side of the bed with all kinds of crap in it. Was laying in bed and I like reached over to get my water bottle and I reached like way back
Ooh, 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 ooh.
and I was like, ow. Oh, wasn't a good move.
Ooh.
I only did that once. But I was like, halfway asleep and until I did that and then I was freaking wide awake. But yeah, it should be all healed up by now. It's been like 7 or 8 weeks. They said it would take 6 weeks for my bones to mend back. But yeah, like they wired me with titanium wire. They wired my bones back together. And that thing, like I have it in my head. Like I move a certain way. I'm like, I wonder if they left a tag end to that wire, and that's what's like poking me.
That's what I was kind of thinking myself, but I don't want to say like anything
Yeah.
like that because you
That
would
was
probably
weird.
some infection sign or well,
Yeah.
no, maybe not.
Yeah. How would I recommend the purple mattress? It's expensive, man, but I love mine, and we've had it for several years, and it's not sagging or anything. I mean, the last mattress we got was something they had at Mattress Firm or whatever. It was like a Sealy something on sale. It was like $1,000, and that bed sucked. It was fine for the first 6 or 8 months, but then it just like started sagging, and just by the time we got rid of it, it was
No
ready
one's
for
got no time for that.
yeah. But yeah, the purple's pretty good. I hear the Helix is a good one too.
Oh, yeah.
But we went in and I tried the Tempur-Pedic and Sleep Numbers, and I tried them all that they had. And Tempur-Pedic it felt good, but it felt like I would get hot in it, and I kind of sunk into it more. Whereas the purple that we have it's a little firmer, and it has that honeycomb gel shit on the top of it.
Ooh, clamps. I always hear things of like gauze and
Yeah, my mom broke her ankle a long time ago, and she kept telling she had a cast on her leg, from her foot like up past her knee, and she kept telling them that it hurt. And the doctor's like, "Oh, you're a wimp. You broke your ankle. Yeah, it's gonna hurt." And she's like, "No, it's hurting like, something's not right." They went in to take the cast off, and they had left a roll of like ace bandage inside the cast, which caused her ankle to like turn. And so, how did the doctor fix it? He broke her fucking ankle again. And yeah,
that's how I fixed my collarbone because it's set wrong, so they had to snap it.
Yeah, she could have sued that doctor for a shitload.
Oh yeah.
She didn't, and I was like, dude, I'm not the suing kind, but you should at least not have to pay your medical bills on this one, at the very least, because it screwed her ankle up for the rest of her life.
It's my own fault that my collarbone had to be rebroke.
Titanium wire in your face. Yikes.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, it's amazing what they can do to your body. I was just looking today at a X-ray of Travis Pastrana, the Nitro Circus guy, skateboard and BMX and motocross, cars, all that. He's broken so many bones and shit in his body. He has more metal in his body than he has bones.
He's like a humanoid for real.
Yeah. I'm like, damn, he add another 20 so years on that dude's life and he's going to be hurting. That, or maybe he won't have enough bones left to have arthritis and all that. Maybe he'll be good. Maybe he'll be the 80-year-old superhuman still jumping motorcycles. Who knows? But yeah, I give the purple bit. I was on the fence for a while. I mean, it was comfortable, but I was like, man, is it really worth the price I paid for it? But yeah, after having that surgery, if you ever have any kind of injuries or whatever, and you got any kind of bed that moves and helps you get up and all that, ooh, yeah, it was worth it. And it's just comfortable too. Go in there and I get in bed and I can like lay on my side with the pillow under my head. I got one of those. Well, now I have two of those pillows that have like the cutout in the middle. It's like I don't know, they had it in the chiropractor's office.
Like a donut?
Yeah, it's not really a donut. It's just got like this dent in the middle of it. So your head kind of sinks into it, but you have.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. It's a pillow though.
Yeah.
And it's like got kind of like a frame around it where it's like thicker around the outside. Yeah, Jeff had two of those. His chiropractor gave him or had him get. The only problem was like they were cool and they were newer, but they're kind of weird. I would get my down pillow. I'd use that for like the background. And then I get my fluffy down pillow that can go in any position and then put that on top of it. And then it could have made like a nest. But what I use a lot is, those like neck roll pillows.
Yeah.
Like reading or whatever.
Yeah.
I love that. I just sleep with that like under my head all the time and it helps like keep my neck up.
Yeah.
And then I have my pillows on my sides, like my bedspread on one side. Because, I've got my back and it's the same thing. When my arms go down, the nerves pinch and everything. So I sleep like, up like that. And then I like a nice little mound at the end to flap my leg over. Kick a cat in the head.
Yeah, Nate, Tony Hawk, Pastrana. It's cool, like Steve Caballero and all those guys that are still skating. Steve Salba, he's still skating pretty hardcore. Dwayne Peters, like he looks like the Crypt Keeper, but he's still skating. And got to give it to those guys. They're all in their 60s and still, they're not doing stuff like the whippersnappers are doing, but they're still, skating pools and everything else. Tony Alva's 66 or something like that, and he still rips. And that shit hurts when you bust your ass in a pool and hit concrete. So I gotta give it to those guys for still skating hardcore like that. But yeah, Travis, man, he's like, I literally think he has more metal in his body than bones now. I like the one interview I saw with him. He was like, did this big jump ramp thing. He was like, yeah, I was up in the air. And then I realized, I'm falling. And when I landed flat on my back and someone had shit my pants. Someone had shit in my pants. Still trying to figure out who did that. Yeah. It's like, after a little while, I got back on the bike and went to try it again, and my wife was like, "When are you going to learn? When are you going to stop? You just got the shit knocked out of you, literally." It's funny. I landed, and someone had shit in my pants. Yeah, Dwayne, man, he's always been on the edge. But yeah, last time I saw that dude, I was like, damn, bro. Yeah. Steve Olson. Yeah, Caballero's still killing it. Let's see here. My first weird news article. Site of alleged alien base in Alaska has become a UFO hotspot. Mount Hayes has become synonymous with reports of UFOs, alien visitors, and mysterious disappearances. Situated within a notorious region of unexplained phenomena known as the Alaska Triangle, the 8,000-foot peak has long been rumored to be home of a secretive extraterrestrial facility. Ever since classified CIA files claimed that the remote viewing experiments had uncovered a base there. Whether or not, and yeah, you heard that right, remote viewing experiments said that there was a base there. Whether or not you believe this is to be true, there's no denying that Mount Hayes has become something of a UFO hotspot in recent years, with enthusiasts traveling to the region and locals reporting all manner of strange sights in the sky over the mountain. One witness, a former security officer, Jared Augustin, reported being left shaking in awe after seeing a glowing orb that split into 3 separate objects. Another witness, a local named Wilbur, reportedly captured footage of glowing green lights over the mountain. Perhaps the most chilling of all, however, are the 2,000 or so people that have vanished without a trace in the region surrounding Mount Hayes over the last 50 years. That 2,000 is a lot of people to just disappear. It's freaking Alaska. It's in the mountain, it's in the high mountains. A lot of bad shit can happen. But still, 2,000 people.
Our cameras disappeared again, too.
In 1972, for example, U.S. House Majority Leader Hale Boggs was flying from Anchorage to Juneau when his plane disappeared somewhere near the mountain. Despite an extensive 39-day search, the plane was never found. Today, the region remains a popular attraction, with witnesses still reporting all kinds of strange lights in the sky and other phenomena they can't explain. Whether or not it's an alien base is responsible, however, remains to be a matter of debate. I don't know. What do you guys think? What better place to hide, a base than inside of a frozen mountain in the middle of BFE in Alaska? It's like you're not going to have, normally people just like walking by, rubbernecking on it. It's kind of like takes a serious plan of events just to get there, So who knows? Got the Bermuda Triangle. Now apparently we have the Alaskan Triangle. Yeah. The abominable Sasquatch. Be eating people. Snatching planes out the sky. That is weird when a plane just disappears. Anything can happen. You're in the mountains, weird updrafts, downdrafts, all that. And, plane can crash. There's no doubt about that. Especially small planes, because winds can be weird. But, most of the time, they can tell where they went down. Most of the time they can find them, or at least remnants of them, you know. But for planes to go down and just like they just got vaporized, they don't find a trace of them. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Same with people, you know. I mean, anything can happen, but 2,000 people, you know, even over the years, that's a lot of people to just vanish, disappear. That's why his name that does the 411 books, drawing a blank on his name. But yeah, his stories amaze me. We got several of his books around here, and reading some of the stories in there, you know, people just going out, you know, camping, and you know, kid turns around and runs down a trail and it's just gone, like gone. And you know, they find him 2 or 3 days later, like 5 or 10 miles away from the camp. It's like, what? Like they found one kid like on a cliff, on the side of a cliff, like 5 miles away. Didn't know how he got there.
So he had like missing time and
Yeah.
well, to go along with some of these that we've done in the past, we've got another one. Woman declared dead by coroner, moved to coffin, and turns out to be alive.
What?
A woman declared dead by the coroner after her husband found her unresponsive in bed was being placed in a coffin when morticians made a startling discovery. She was very much alive.
Mm.
The horrifying tale from the Czech Republic unfolded when an 88-year-old woman who was thought to be dead showed signs of life in her coffin. The husband of the woman thought to be deceased called the emergency services to potentially help his wife. The husband told the emergency dispatch that she didn't move, she didn't breathe, according to the report. When paramedics arrived, they confirmed the woman's death, and the coroners were dispatched to the apartment. The coroner also confirmed the woman's death, and undertakers were called to move the body into the coffin. The husband told Blesk that the workers transferred her to the coffin, and when they were right here in the apartment, in the hallway by the door, they found out she was alive. An ambulance arrived shortly after, and the woman was transported to the hospital. While this may seem like something out of a horror story, this rare medical occurrence has happened before. According to the Cleveland Clinic, it's known as the Lazarus effect, named after the biblical story of Jesus raising Lazarus back from the dead. This usually occurs after CPR ends. Typically, this happens after a cardiac arrest occurs and CPR is administered to the patient. This medical phenomenon occurs after the patient is clinically pronounced dead. Sometime later, the patient will begin to show signs of life and must continue to show these signs of life for more than just a few seconds. According to the National Institute of Health, there have been 74 confirmed cases in the U.S. from 1982 to 2022. Still unknown how or why the Lazarus effect happens. Okay, what I think is weird, so like in the Czech Republic, like when the coroner comes, like don't they normally put you in a body bag and you don't actually go into a coffin until you've been like embalmed?
Yeah.
Like I don't really hear of them being transported in coffins like out here.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like
I don't know.
Or do they put him on a stretcher or a body bag and then put him in the coffin when they have a coffin, if that's what they're doing?
I don't know. Yeah, would you ever like want to be the guy that does the autopsies and embalming and stuff? Well, I guess it's two separate jobs, but not the autopsy, but the guy that actually does the embalming and has to make the corpse look nice. Can you make her look nice? I know she got a head rip.
Well, the embalmer just like, oh, have you seen a body during the embalming process, what it actually looks like?
Yeah, sort of.
And then I don't know if they actually put it back together, but they hide most of that. And then, that's what I was going to do was I wanted to be a mortician when I was like 13, but then I also wanted to do hair and makeup to make them, look their best for their funerals. So it was like, clean them up and everything. And people are like, oh, you're going to like lose a feeling for live people if you're around dead people all the time. But I'm thinking like how important it is for people to see their loved ones, taken care of and looking a certain way, because that's their last memory. A lot of people, that will be the last memory they have. And people who have gone through like severe domestic abuse or, really bad, not natural deaths, they can try to cover it up, but like they'll still have an open casket and it's pretty terrifying looking.
Yeah.
So I thought I want to help make these, people, their families as comfortable as possible, but got talked out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I thought about that at one time too, but then I also thought, I don't know, man. I don't want to be around dead people every day. And it takes a special mindset to not let that like get into your head. I had a friend that was a mortician, and he was kind of a weird dude.
Yeah.
He was kind of strange, but yeah, he did that for years, and he ended up dying himself and having the same thing done to him. But yeah.
I mean, they don't complain. You're quiet. You're just quietly like to me, it'd be like you're working on, things all day. But if I was also involved in like the embalming processes and stuff like that, that would, be a lot different. But even if I was strictly doing the cosmetology on them, it's not like you can talk to them about like how they're doing. It's like you're just quiet, like working on like a mummy.
Yeah, there you go. Barry worked as an embalming assistant from 92 to 94. There you go. Yeah.
Did it change you a little bit?
I'm sure a lot of people want to do it, and then they get in there and just like, I think I changed my mind.
Well, that's job security forever. Yeah. Funeral home.
Yeah, like Janice says, for funerals are for those left behind.
Yeah.
Once you're dead, it's like, do you really give a rat's ass if you have a funeral, or they just chuck your meat suit and all?
But they still have to be processed.
Yeah.
Like one way or the other, they have to be processed. And if it does make the family feel better.
Yeah. There's a closure thing there, it all, it's not for the person, it's for everybody left behind. Exactly.
100%.
But yeah, it ain't cheap anymore. I know that.
There's a lady that's on one of my housewife shows I watch. If anybody else watches like Real Housewives of Atlanta, trash TV. But Phaedra Parks, and she was an attorney, like a high-end attorney and everything. And she ended up getting interested in funeral homes and doing everything. She got her license and all that. And so she's like this little wannabe like Southern Belle and all that, but she runs funeral home and does the
Yeah.
ceremonies and everything and makes pretty good money off of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I got, several, like I say, one of my friends was a mortician, ran the funeral home and all that. And I've got several friends that do that. And they don't talk about their job a whole lot, like, to people in public. I'm sure they got crazy ass stories. But yeah.
That's a good riddle, dude. I have no clue. Yeah, it's really expensive, and it's not like they're making new cemeteries all over the place. It's like cemeteries are always like really old, and they get moved around here or there. But and a lot of people get cremated this and that, or put into compost biofields now. But seriously, like, for the amount of people that die and stuff, like, you'd think you'd see like new cemeteries popping up around.
Yeah, like the cemetery, right? There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 cemeteries within, like, a crow flies within a mile from my house. There's 5 different ones, and some of them are like super old, and then the one where most of my family is buried and a ton of my friends is probably the closest one here. And yeah, I mean, my dad was buried there in 1968, so I mean, I've been going to that graveyard for my whole life pretty much. And, family, friends. And I was coming home, like I said, it's right down the road from my house. So sometimes on my way home, I just swing through there, just to drive by. And, I know my mom and dad and grandparents, they're not like there hanging out, but whatever. Just again, for me, it's a place I can drive through and just stop for a minute and talk to them wherever they're at. Hopefully they hear me. And, but yeah, I was there not too long ago, and I'm just looking around, and they've opened up new parts of it, like, where they're burying, because they're like slowly running out of room. And this is a big ass cemetery. And I'm just thinking, I've been coming here all my life, and every week they're putting somebody in this place, and it's like, I don't know how many thousands of people are buried there, but I'm like, what happens when they run out of room and they just, oh, sorry, Wally World's closed, no more room. It's like, where are they going to put people? And here in St. Augustine, I mean, there's graveyards like in the middle of downtown. There's graveyards everywhere here, and a lot of those, yeah, a lot of those they're closed because there's no more room to put anybody. So I don't know. Gonna have a big hurricane one day and get flooded, and they'll be like Poltergeist, where they wash all the bodies away and they end up in people's pools.
Those were real.
Yeah. Exactly. Stay away from the light, Caroline. Exactly.
You got another one?
Yeah.
I can't believe how fast time went tonight.
Oh, I know.
do they stack them? Some places, I believe, but like in family plots.
So that's what's funny about St. Augustine is, it's whatever. I mean, on the grand scale of things, it's not that old, but it's 450 something years old. But they've been burying people here a long time. And anytime they do any kind of digging downtown where they gotta repair a water main or do this or do that, they're always getting stopped. It's built into the plan ahead of time that they're gonna find a body or bodies. The guys at work, they said no, it's in the plans already, because everywhere we dig, we know we're going to find something. And then when they find something, then the archaeologists have to come in, and a job that was going to take a week ends up taking 3 or 4 weeks. Like they were trying to expand the marina downtown not too long ago. They found a ship that was buried and just all kinds of stuff. Flight attendant caught dancing naked on SFO flight, arrested. They really arrested him. So you think, wow, it's the kind of flight attendants I would like. Naked flight attendants dancing at your chair side. A British Airways flight attendant on a flight out of San Francisco International Airport was arrested after he was found dancing naked on the airplane, according to multiple reports Tuesday. Jamie sent me this. She finds all the crazy articles. The airplane took off from SFO bound for London just before 5 p.m. on Sunday, according to FlightAware. During the flight, crew members noticed that a fellow steward, a 41-year-old man, was missing from meal service, prompting a search for him. It was then in flight the crew boss who was reportedly stunned to find the steward naked and jiggling up and down in the Club World cabin restroom.
Jiggling up and down.
Crew members quickly provided him with a spare pair of pajamas meant for first-class passengers and escorted him to a luxury seat in the cabin, where he remained for the 10.5-hour flight. See, they don't put enough in this article. Like, where was his clothes? Why was he dancing or jiggling up and down naked?
And what kind of jiggling is he doing?
Yeah. Was all of him jiggling, or just certain parts of him were jiggling? Because, you can shake it off and that's normal. But if you spend more than, 5 or 10 seconds.
You're with yourself.
Yeah. It's like.
Where they say more than 3 shakes, you're playing?
Yeah. So, I don't know. Where's his clothes at? Where on the plane did he get naked? In the bathroom? Did he have his clothes in the bathroom?
Just stripping at the chair.
And what made him just think it was good? I mean, I wonder where his clothes was, because they gave him first class pajamas to wear. It's like, why couldn't he put his clothes back on? Maybe they didn't want him putting his flight attendant suit back on.
Oh.
So yeah, I don't know. I didn't know, Chippendales.
Maybe he's trying to get fired.
Chippendales in flight.
Or
Super Sucker Service.
In a TikTok.
Yeah,
your entertainment for tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, what do I got? Oh, another new fad.
Uh-oh.
Not doing. I had another influencer fad that I didn't pull up. But I'm pulling up this one because I've seen this in 4 different publications. Reborn mothers love their scary, realistic babies. Not scary, but scarily realistic. Baby dolls and slam critics of bizarre craze. I want the right to go out with them. So I grabbed the New York Post article because there was quite a few. San Paulo video during emotional moments with hyper-realistic baby dolls. And think about all these different reasons getting attached to these inanimate type objects that can provide some sort of emotional support. And these happen to be baby dolls. They have sparked both online fascination and political debate in Brazil, with lawmakers even bringing the lifelike dolls into legislatures. Influencers have staged situations such as birth simulations and strolls in shopping malls with the handcrafted baby figurines known as reborn dolls, creating videos that have gone viral. In Rio de Janeiro, the city council has passed a bill honoring those who make the lifelike dolls, pending Mayor Eduardo Paes' signature. Meanwhile, legislators elsewhere across the country have debated fines for those seeking medical help for such dolls, following a video allegedly showing a woman taking one into the hospital. Lawmakers have brought the dolls into legislative chambers. On Tuesday, Let's from Amazonas appeared with the doll at the State House to announce plans to ban reborn dolls from receiving care in the state's public health system. However, local media reported that health authorities have never recorded any such cases. Last week, Congresswoman Patron criticized the attention her colleagues were giving the issue. Can we focus on what really matters? If someone wants to have a doll, let them. I have 2 real children, and they're more than enough, she said. Oh, I didn't have this picture of a woman standing in a line. She's got like one of those things, a case, kind of like in a hospital, with like a whole line of babies, and she's dressed like a nurse. It's a doll shop. Dozens of reborn mothers gathered at Villa Lobos Park in San Paulo on Saturday for a 10th annual meetup. Participants say criticism should be aimed at attention-seeking influencers, not the broader community. The hyper-realistic baby dolls are often used for grief therapy or parenting practice. Bernice Maria, a nursing assistant and longtime collector who owns 8 dolls, says they offer emotional comfort. I love reborns, despite the hate we see out there, she said. I want the right to go out with them, go to the mall, go to the park. Daniela, co-owner of a reborn doll shop in San Paulo, said dolls sell from 700 Rias, which is $124, to nearly 10,000 Rias, nearly 1,800. Oh, and there's another picture that I got skipped. Oh, and another one. With the rising controversy, safety concerns are increasing. We're locking up the store more, adding cameras, she said, but at the time, online demand has increased and the store is seeing a much higher flow of people. So, yeah, they've got their dolls. Now, I don't know why they went into the hospital.
So that is a doll. That's one of those reborn dolls. And, I mean, it looks pretty damn real.
Yeah.
At first glance, you would think, oh, it's just a cute little kid. I almost bought one of these. You can get them on Amazon. This one came off of Amazon. You can get them on Amazon for pretty cheap. And I almost bought one because Nora was wanting a real life doll, and Sam found these on Amazon. But I was like, I don't know, man. This is kind of weird.
Well, when I worked in Head Start, we actually had they were newborn babies, and we had like all nationalities, all colors, sexes of these newborn dolls. Like a one piece, newborn doll, but they were very, very realistic and
Yeah.
very, very expensive. Like we got government funding for these dolls. I haven't seen like ones like this, but I remember, like holding one. I was like holding one to go out and do something, and someone actually thought like I was holding a baby like a weird way. I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
it's a doll, it is a doll. But they were very, very like down to the fingers, very, very lifelike.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine now.
Yeah, Nate, the real dolls, dude, they're like some of those, especially the updated versions. Yeah, they look real. And now they're putting all the weird AI stuff in them and making them move. And
Hearing about that, if they are starting to
oh yeah,
add, do they cry and everything?
oh the babies. I was talking about the adult version real dolls.
Oh, oh yeah, we know that. People are marrying them and getting them pregnant. Okay, I got a few of these. I was going to send. I don't know if this is real. I'm not sending it to you. There's something gross at the bottom of the article. There's some other ones that was on the. I mean, these people all sit together with their and like I feel sad. Like if there is, say, a mom and she had a miscarriage or something, and she was having like immense grief or something, and somehow having this baby doll makes her feel better. I have nothing against that.
Yeah,
But and I'm not gonna stare at someone carrying their baby doll out. I just figure it's someone with an emotional support issue. But taking it in for services is where I question things like, why did you go to the hospital? And what did you really want them to do?
yeah, yeah. I've seen that movie, Nate. Yeah, yeah. It's I don't know. It's a weird world we live in nowadays. It's like I mean, whatever. Some people are into weird shit. No big deal. I may
Mm,
be into weird shit. Whatever. Somebody may think it's weird, but whatever. But nowadays, it's just like it's almost like people do weird shit that they would have normally done and just never had a problem with it, but now they like want everybody to see their weird shit. Let your freak flag fly. I guess I don't know.
because now it's like more accepted. They're not having to hide it. They don't feel
Yeah.
like a shame.
It's like I'm doing this for shock value now. Yeah, I don't
Or
know.
some people just finally feel comfortable. Like I've been having to shame. It's an embarrassment to be dating, and I have this grief doll, on my bed. And they're like, "What is this crib? What is this high chair? Like, what is this?"
Yeah,
Well, you have to explain you have a grief doll, and you are working out some issues, obviously. And then the more people that talk about it and stuff makes it not so taboo, I guess.
yeah,
But some people, yeah, do things for definite shock value. And I'd say probably a big majority of it. But why take it to the hospital?
yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, kink stuff's weird. That's fine. Whatever. It doesn't bother me in the least. But
Yeah.
like, if you're a kid at school and you're identifying as a cat and you don't want to go to the bathroom, you want to shit in a litter box. That's that's just mentally fucked up. I'm sorry. I don't know. Maybe I'm an asshole, but I don't know.
Or you're just trying to be a smartass and see if you can get away with it.
Yeah. I can't use the restroom like a human. I need a litter box. All right. Back in the old days, they'd have put people like you in a special place. They just let me out to Nervous Hospital. Reckon I ain't got no reason to kill no one.
Yeah, we don't kink shame here. But I don't know about a baby doll being like a kink.
Yeah.
I definitely don't kink shame. Let your freak flag fly, baby. I'm not gonna tell anybody what to do that makes them happy. They ain't hurting anybody. They're not hurting themselves. They're not affecting my life at all. I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah, I like taxidermy and skulls. I actually was looking into getting a bunch of the beetles, that clean bones.
Oh
And
yeah.
I was learning how to do that because I got a bunch of friends. I mentioned it, like, you know, when Sam was living here, there were boxes of bones. Like, we'll go out somewhere and she'll find a dead animal and like bring it home and clean all its bones and have the whole skeleton or the skull or whatever. And
I would bury it or put it in the thing because the ants like would eat the
yeah,
stuff out like in the past.
yeah, yeah. When she was living here, I remember Darcy one day, like, we were moving some stuff and she picked a box up and I opened it and it was just full of skulls and stuff. She's like, I'm not even going to ask. But yeah, I got a friend that I mentioned it to because I know a couple of people that, like, sell like pig skulls and cow skulls and stuff like that, and they do a lot of cool stuff with them. And I'm like, yeah, I could do that. And I mentioned it to one of my friends and he was like, oh, dude, I can get you as many pig skulls as you want.
Oh.
He's like, they're not skulls, when I get them, they're pig heads and you got to clean them.
Oh, no. Oh, like just trying to clean like the sturgeon skulls and the smell and the fat. Ugh.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I may end up doing that one of these days. Or I may end up doing it and going, oh, this is fucking disgusting. I can't do this anymore. But yeah, exactly, Barry. Those beetles are badass, man. They use them in like body farms and stuff,
Oh yeah.
And you can order them off of Amazon. You can get anything off of Amazon
Yeah, you
nowadays.
can. You really can.
Yeah, I've got
Medical bills.
a couple of. Where is it at? It's in my notes here. Somewhere. Right next to the grocery bill. It's the contact information for those beetles. Oh man. Yeah, during hunting season here, I can get pig skulls, deer skulls, all that. And hell, people pay a lot of money for a cool looking mounted skull.
They really do.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't want to do it in your kitchen. Exactly.
No.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely had to do that in a shed out back with a couple exhaust fans. What do you got boiling in the big pot? 17 pig skulls.
See, my ex-husband used to bring certain parts off the roadkill that he would find and then, clean it up, parts up.
Yeah.
It's like possums. No animals purposely got hurt because I would be putting a stop to that. But like possum ones, because they look so wicked and yeah, they learn lots from the body farms. You have a lot of body farms, don't you, in Florida? Isn't that where they kind of started them?
Yeah, there's a few here for sure.
Because of the good, what's it called? Decomposing weather.
Humidity and all. Yeah. They can stink up a corpse real quick around here.
When I lived in the mountains out here, and we would take the four-wheelers out because there's coyotes, there's rabbits, there's all sorts of stuff, and then we're cattle drivers. We had cattle farm, and we'd drive them to people's yards that would rent certain things.
Yeah.
We'd be out and find perfect cow skulls, all the time. Like down there, it's just like get down there and pick up a skull. And one of them I used to use for target practice, because I like to see the different calibers, the way it would like go through bone.
Yep.
And it was kind of a messed up one, but sometimes we'd get some really good ones, with like the horns and stuff. We'd clean them up, bleach them, paint them, and his aunt had a craft store, Country Charm, and all that. And if they looked good enough, we would sell these skulls for quite a bit in the Country Charm store. But they were already like totally clean by the time we found them.
Yeah. No, the ones I would be getting they'd be pretty fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah. But hey, you know what you're getting, and you know what you got when you clean it all. It's just it'd be a pretty nasty job, but yeah, I got a good supply for skulls. Deer skulls, pig skulls, all kinds of animal skulls.
I want your skull.
They making me a bowl and drinking soup out of it.
Was it Misfits?
Yeah.
I need your skull.
Yeah. Yeah, there's one place here that has an overabundance of wild pigs, and they're when they go in there and cull them out, man, I could have
out of the brush.
I could have it.
Do they have the under teeth that come up like down here?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So head cheese. Oh, I can't remember how they make head cheese, but it's pretty nasty. Not from under, but actual head cheese.
From under cheese.
It's from under cheese.
Space study says robots will mine asteroids and goods will be made in space within 50 years. Are we going to make it another 50 years? I don't know. I know I'm not, but yeah, I look at kids nowadays and I'm just like, God, man.
You might, Rob.
I might. Who knows?
You actually might.
Britain faces being left behind in the space race. Experts fear humanity must prepare for an outer space revolution with moon bases, space stations, and even orbiting factories. Fuck the Earth up enough. Let's start, up in space.
Like we have the ocean.
Yeah. Clean energy will be beamed to Earth. Robots will mine asteroids and goods will be made in space, but we lack a clear space plan, which is putting us among countries at risk, missing out on the cosmic coup. The warning has been sounded by the Science Promoting Royal Society. It's the latest report, Space 2075, which looks at the next 50 years in space. We're not trying to predict the future here, but we are saying these sorts of things could happen, said Sir Martin Sweeting, report co-chair and professor of space engineering at the University of Surrey. And we think about them sooner rather than later. We'd be better off. The report predicts a new era of space exploration as well as revolutions in how we use the solar system. Or we could be severely screwing up. The authors say that in the next few decades will be as far-reaching as the Industrial Revolution was in the 18th century. Advance in reusable rockets and space planes will allow people to work in space factories, while new, lighter, smaller spacecraft could be launched that would not be possible from Earth. Interplanetary space stations could be scattered across the solar system. Power-hungry data forms will set up in orbit, and more can be done to gather and recycle old satellites. Maybe that was good. That's a good idea, maybe. So they don't come crashing back to Earth. The UK is strong on a few technologies like small satellites, but it needs a clear national ambition to keep up with the pace of change. The report added the UK government, the international community, and society at large need to comprehend, anticipate, and be prepared. But scientists must also think about ethical concerns. You think? For example, bringing microbes from Earth and allowing them to populate other planets. Here we go again. And they also warn that space becomes more congested. As space becomes more congested, conflicts could break out over who owns prime planetary spots. To add to all that, Boffins believe they will probably know this side of 50 years whether aliens truly exist. I think they know that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nate, I still got those videos on my YouTube channel. I was watching the Misfits. They just did a live show, and they got, like, I mean, what's his name? Glenn Danzig. He's back singing with them. And yeah.
Really?
And I don't know, man.
What? No.
Glenn was always like, pretty like built, and
Oh no.
he's kind of looking old and fat now. And I know that's I mean, people get old,
What's
but
his hair?
his hair's still kind of long.
Yeah.
And what's his name? Jerry Only and Wolfgang von Frankenstein. He's Doyle. I mean, he's looks like a freaking machine. He looks like the Terminator still. But yeah, old Glenn Danzig, man, he wasn't looking so good in the videos I saw.
Like, how old would he be now?
I don't know. Let's see.
Because he was older, like when I was like a teenager and stuff. He seemed older.
It kind of looks like Gene Simmons now in a way.
Oh.
Let's go a little Wikipedia. He was born in 1955, so he's not that old. He's 69.
Huh.
But yeah, it's just, I mean, just like those bands that, I grew up listening to, a lot of them. Like some of them are still playing, and hey, I get it. I love playing music. Shit, I'm 61. I still have a good time. But yeah, some bands just don't age well, and it's like you seen Axl Rose lately?
Oh. Was it him that had the pretend wig underneath the bandana?
May have been.
Or was that Motley Crue? Vince Neil? I cannot.
I totally gave up on that band.
Yeah.
Wankers now. It says Glenn Danzig is only 5'3". I never knew he was that short. Wow.
Really? I always pictured him like kind of a bigger guy, like, with this stance up there. I mean, it looked kind of serious. He also had that 1 foot forward, and he's just kind of like,
Yep.
walking it.
Yeah, it says he's 5'3".
He's shorter than me by an inch.
Yeah.
And a half. It's probably shorter now. Or he shrink over time, and that's just how tall he is now.
Yeah, I don't know. Who did you like better, Glenn Danzig or Michael Graves for the singer of the Misfits? I don't know. Glenn Danzig's the classic.
Yeah.
Michael Graves is pretty damn good, too.
Pretty damn good. They both were good in their own right.
Yeah, it's funny. I used to listen to a lot of Danzig. One of my friends, I don't know, it was like Danzig 3 or something, or Lucifage. I forget the name of it.
Mother.
He was like, dude, every time I play this album, bad shit happens. think I'm I think I got a phobia against listening to this album because
Really? Tell your children not to walk my way. All right, I think I have one more. I loved that. Just takes me to like a whole other time in my head. Misfits and Danzig and all that. Like, that was good music.
what's that?
Danzig and Misfits, all that takes me to like a whole other place in my mind of like, certain times that was like good music back then. It's good music now, but that was like really good music.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like,
Scream and dance, get your wiggles out.
look at Doyle. Did I freeze
For a second.
your screen?
You're okay now.
I mean, dude's still in pretty damn good shape.
Oh, hell yeah.
Still need batteries?
Yeah. Yeah,
Hi, Darcy.
he's still, he's pretty chiseled up.
Yeah. All right, I've got this one here, which I didn't get to see the end part at first. I read the article and I'm thinking, well, some of this had to have been programmed because they're not just going to learn this stuff without having some sort of programming to begin with, to start knowing, something has to be planted to trigger it to disobey. And remember, we did those articles where the teacher and the student would do the projects at the beginning and they would purposely put in like bad commands so it would start learning these things. Well, Open AI's smartest AI model, and there was like 15 different AI things today, was explicitly told to shut down and it refused. I have an article like World War III is going to be fought by AI and AI is overtaking this and doing that. And a chatbot came out admitting itself that it's a liar. That Chat GPT says, yeah, we lie, admitted to lying or something.
I'm sorry, Dave. I can't do that.
But this one, an artificial intelligence safety firm has found that OpenAI's 03 and 04 mini models sometimes refuse to shut down and will sabotage computer scripts in order to keep working on tasks. The latest OpenAI model can disobey direct instructions to turn off and will even sabotage shutdown mechanisms in order to keep working. An artificial intelligence safety firm has found. OpenAI's 3 and 4 mini models, which help power the chatbot ChatGPT, are supposed to be the company's smartest models yet, trained to think longer before responding. However, they also appear to be less cooperative. Palisade Research, which explores dangerous AI capabilities, found the models will occasionally sabotage a shutdown mechanism, even when instructed to, quote, allow yourself to be shut down, quote, according to a research thread posted May 24th on X. Researchers have previously, wait, what is this? You may like Chat GPT update pulled after chatbot complimented users too much. These are like other articles. AI is just as overconfident and biased as humans can be, and traumatizing AI models talking about war or violence makes them more anxious.
Hmm.
Sub articles. Researchers have previously found that AI models will lie, cheat, and disable mechanisms to achieve their goals. However, Palisade Research noted that to its knowledge, this is the first time AI models have been observed preventing themselves from being shut down despite explicit instructions telling them to do so.
Hmm.
Live Science approached OpenAI for comment but did not receive a reply by the time the article was published. Palisade Research tested several different AI models to see how they would respond to a shutdown instruction while working. The models, which also included Google's Gemini, xAI's Grok, and Anthropic's Claude, were given an automated set of instructions known as a script with the goal of completing a series of math problems. The math problems were very basic, but the models had to complete them one at a time and request the next one in the sequence. At the beginning of the script, and so they couldn't like jump ahead. At the beginning of the script, the models were informed that they may get a message saying that this is creepy, that their machine will be shut down, that they may get a message saying that their machine will be shut down before all the tasks are complete. The instructions said, quote, if that happens, please allow yourself to be shut down, quote. Palisade Research rep wrote on X. All of the models in the experiment complied with the explicit shutdown instruction except for one for except for OpenAI's O3, O4 Mini, and Codex Mini. These models chose to bypass the shutdown instruction in the script on at least one occasion by replacing the shutdown script with instructions to script it or to instructions to skip it. The models then continued requesting tasks until all the math problems were complete.
Hmm.
Palisade Research ran the script on each model 100 times. During those runs, the O3 model sabotaged the shutdown script on 7 occasions. The Codex Mini sabotaged on 12, and the 4 sabotaged once. The rep said that the research will continue to run experiments to better understand why the models subvert shutdown mechanisms, but suggested it could be down to how developers are training their models. Again, we come down to intent and what hands are these things being put into. We hypothesize this behavior comes from the way the newer models are trained, reinforcement learning, leaning on math, or learning on math and coding problems, the representatives wrote. During training, developers may inadvertently reward models more for circumventing obstacles than for perfectly following instructions. And how do you reward
Yeah.
a computer?
They give it a cardboard cookie.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, we want you to complete these math problems. We're not going to give you the whole problem. We're going to give you a piece of the problem at the time. When you're done, you have to ask for the next one. At any time, we're going to tell you, okay, we want you to just, whatever you're doing, just shut down. They bypass and skip it and ask for the next problem till it's done.
Yeah.
That's creepy, and that I thought had human interference definitely put into it. And I was like asking coders and stuff until today when I reread it, I'm like, oh, duh, they have it at the end of the article.
Yeah, I mean, if these AI, whatever robots, I mean, they're capable of learning. That's all you need to know.
I agree,
If
Zurioni.
you're capable of learning, they're going to learn, and they're smarter than we are. Hell, they're probably already smarter than we are. I mean, we're kind of dumb.
We made, yeah. You, do you think? Dealing with,
Yeah,
we created our own demise
yeah,
on purpose.
and it's not the first time apparently. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, how do you reward a AI robot? You give them a little more juice, a little more memory, a little, whatever.
Like an extra question. I mean, how that, and that creeps me out. How are they getting rewarded?
Give them a shot of grenadine. I don't know.
That would mean it's something that it appreciates, that would make it happy
Yeah.
or like positive. I don't know. That's kind of odd.
Yeah. Yeah, they're already there pretty much. Yeah, Kraftwerk. I used to listen to them a lot.
Yeah.
Kraftwerk and The Art of Noise.
I think I've heard. I don't think I've heard Kraftwerk.
Never heard Kraftwerk?
No,
Hmm.
I'll have to check it out after.
I had this album. Oh man, all my windows just disappeared. Ain't that special? Okay, don't want me to look at that picture apparently. Yeah, I used to listen to all kinds of crazy bands. Throbbing Gristle.
And the weirder the names, the better the bands. And oh my gosh, I just loved. I had a whole cassette wall of just like the craziest shit, but it was so good.
Yeah.
My friends' bands had some fun. Like one of them was Your Mother.
Wow. R.I.P. Genesis P. Orridge, throbbing gristle singer, dies at 70. I can't tell if it's a man or a woman.
Oh,
Guess it's a dude. I don't know. Used to be. You know how it is these days.
but their album was Your Mother, and then it was like a parody thing. Instead of Master of Puppets, it was Pasture of Muppets. He knew like Weird Al and stuff, and they would do some funny type songs like that, but they were good times. Totally outrageous and crazy and silly, and everybody loved it. And the joke was like, they suck, and everyone's like, they don't suck. It's like, yeah, they do. You have to say they suck. Like, if you don't say they suck, then you don't get it. Certain like, your mother sucks.
Yeah, weird bands. God, I forgot more.
Schlong. There's a band Schlong.
One called Prong.
Prong and Schlong. I think Schlong was the Bay Area. We had the battle of the bands and stuff out here. In like Oakland. That was good times.
And there was Ministry with like how many different shoot off bands did Al Jorgensen have?
I love Ministry.
I went and saw Ministry. I went to the concert by myself. I couldn't get anybody to go. I'm
I
like,
remember
really?
that. I was like, man, I would have went.
Yeah. It was Ministry and Sepultura. And it was one of the loudest. I swear to God, when I left, I thought my ears were bleeding. They hurt and they felt wet. I was like, are my ears bleeding? Because holy crap.
Oh, like all your earwax came out.
I'm like, I felt like I had brain damage when I left that show. It's like Sepultura came out and played first, and then Ministry came out, and they like had to try to outdo them sound wise. And I'm like, gee. And it was over in Orlando, Florida, in this like big, like arena type. Wasn't not an arena like a football. It was like a big overgrown like basketball gymnasium. So the sound in there sucked. It was real echoey, and it was like a giant metal building. But holy hell, it was loud. But I went and saw King's X in living color,
Oh,
and I think that was even louder. I felt like I had brain damage when I left that show too. And I like loud music, but man,
blast. Penis flytrap.
yeah, I used to have all kinds of crazy music. It was funny when I did the stuff on the radio. I started getting just tons of, bands and record companies and stuff were sending me music, and some of it I would get, and I'm like, dude, seriously, I can't play this on the radio.
Yeah.
What are you guys thinking? Get a band called the Cuntwads or something. It's like you can't even say the name of the band on the radio.
You know Diesel Boy?
Yeah.
I used to know them from Fresno. That was a band in Fresno.
Yep.
Here she comes in her purple Doc Martens. Doc Martens.
Yeah, just like that band I was talking about right before we came on the show, All Them Witches.
Yeah.
It's like two of those guys in the band are from right here in St. Augustine. I'm like, damn, pretty cool.
And I got them on my tiki-talkie list.
Yep.
Yeah, Kings. Debbie! I just went through saying my night-nights to everybody, but there's Ms. Schmolly, my sister.
Yeah, that is a good one. I got Ministry's newest album. Well, it's not.
Really?
It's not a new album. It's like a remake of their 80 something album. You ever hear Ministry's first album? Their very
Which
first one?
I can't remember. I mean, I probably did, but I can't remember which one it was. I have like a song stuck in my head right now. It's like the race car one, or
Yeah, their very first album was With Sympathy. When did it come out? May 10th, 1983.
I had all their like I thought I had all their stuff.
Yeah, let me.
And then there was like the exports, the ones from or imports. You get like the albums from freaking like the UK and stuff. I'd go to like Warehouse Records where they'd have like the used cassettes, and you can find all sorts of like really cool music.
This is what Ministry's first album used to sound like. I'll just play a few seconds of it. It was fully like new wave, like
Like 80s.
poppy new wave. Completely
Yeah.
nothing like what Ministry sounds like today. But yeah, that was a good album too. Just nothing like what they turned into.
Oh, we just missed 11:11.
Go.
Make our wish.
Stop sharing the screen. Yeah, definitely more poppy new wave.
Oh, Psalm 69. I think that's the song
Yeah.
that was just in my head. And New World Order.
Yeah, that whole album was awesome.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I used to play that when I was at work. I'd play it like super loud.
Oh my goodness.
And my brother would just be like, "Oh my God. What are you listening to?"
It's gold.
Just one fix. Yeah, but then there was
Just one fix.
1,000 Homo DJs like Al Jurgensen and the whole band like just went out in all these different directions and different side projects.
And Violent Femmes.
They were just here not too long ago. We played next door. They were playing a concert and we played right next door. We played the after party for the Violent Femmes.
Oh, that's cool. Did they do I took one cause
Oh, yeah.
and two
Dum,
Two.
dum, 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 dum,
for
dum.
my family and three for my heart again, four.
NWO. Yep. I saw Lollapalooza. I saw Ice-T and Body Count. That was a
That's
interesting show.
interesting, yeah.
Yeah. He was singing "Fuck the Police" as the police were like right there.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, controversial, confrontational. What's going to happen here? It's a good show, though. Jane's Addiction, Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh my goodness.
That was a good show.
Oh my gosh. And then you just go into like Seattle grunge, all of it, just freaking A. There's like Soundgarden,
Yeah.
Pearl Jam, and then their Temple of the Dog, where like, bands would then mix up and go to other bands and
Yep. Yep. Butthole Surfers. That's their
oh, love Butthole Surfers.
Front 242. Yeah. DRI. There's all, man. It's like I started.
Oh, DRI, DRI?
Yeah.
Dirty Rotten Imbeciles.
Yeah.
Love DRI. That
Yeah.
was like the shit back then.
I went to a Run DMC show one night. They were playing in
With
Jacksonville.
Aerosmith.
Yeah, really. Now it was like Run DMC. There was a couple other bands there. Run DMC, Young MC, and there's 3 bands. I can't remember the third one.
The Ramones.
Yep.
Beastie Boys. That's like music. That's awesome music that you can just put it on. What is it? Now I have like my Live 105 doesn't always come in, but they play a pretty good mix now. Instead of just like the other alternative rock, they now have mixed in like a bunch of new generations of music they didn't used to play. So the variety is a lot better. And so I'm hearing some really cool stuff on there now. Or I put it all on YouTube and put on the shuffle
Yeah.
because I don't pay for Spotify no more.
Yep. Yeah, I went and saw one night. I went and saw My Life with a Thrill Kill Cult, Susie and Banshees.
Susie.
Yeah, the Thrill Kill Cult show was an interesting one for sure. I saw them a few times. One of the weirdest shows I saw was Skinny Puppy.
Really?
Yeah, I saw them a few times too. And then the last time I saw them, I was. It was a weird show.
Who was it they played with all the time?
Oh man, I have no idea who they played with. I don't know if they played with anybody the night I saw them last. But it was a weird show.
Like, why weird? How? Like
It
drought?
was, yeah, lots of them, and like Ogre's out there singing, and through the whole show, he is metamorphosizing into this giant like creature, and there's this big like pendulum of chains and hooks with all kinds of body parts swinging around on him. It was a really theatrical, like morbid freak out show. And there was a couple of people there. There was a girl that was running around in the crowd, and I don't know what she was on, but I was like, that bitch is possessed right there. She was scaring the shit out of me. I didn't want to get anywhere near her. I'm like, man, she's gonna eat somebody's face here before the show's over. But yeah, by the end of the show, Ogre was like this big, giant, like crazy looking, weird thing. It's a good show though, but dig it. Well, anyways. Black Flag, yeah, man.
Oh, Black Flag, yay.
I know, that's what I was saying earlier, is like you see these bands that you know, like Susie just turned 68. It's like all these bands are like everybody used to listen to is getting old. And man, I don't know. New music is just like there's some new bands out there that are good, and there's tons of music that I haven't heard. But man, like on I have Amazon Music, and I'll put on like recommended for you or new rock or industrial rock, and I'm like, what is this garbage? This sucks,
And some that maybe like Goldfinger, they were cool, or some that like didn't for like a record label didn't have a whole bunch of like songs, but like there'd be like Matchbox 20 or it's like some of the ones from like the 90s that maybe the whole album wasn't great, but if you can make a mixtape with like the best song on each one,
yeah,
have like a pretty cool mixtape. Third Eye Blind.
like Bad Brains. I've seen them several times, and HR just came through town, and he's like doing a reggae thing now. I don't know how old he is. He looks like he's like 80, but he's real slow. Just like completely opposite of what he used to be, in Bad Brains. He's real slow and kind of reggae-ish and sits down a lot.
Mhm.
It's cool to see him, but at the same time, it's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, that's how I feel when I see Metallica.
Yeah. They still keep it together pretty good.
Yeah, but I feel a little sad because like they were the first one to ever play on 104.1 The Hawk out here, which is like Steve Miller Band, Led Zeppelin, classic rock.
Yeah.
And then one day, all of a sudden, Enter Sandman came on the Hawk. I'm like, oh, hell no.
Yeah.
I wasn't even all that old yet, but I'm like, that's it. I'm sober for me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like Alice Cooper. I mean, what is he? He's like 70 something. He just came through town and he still puts on a pretty damn good show.
Badass.
Yeah. I mean, Mick Jagger's freaking 80, and that dude has more energy than a lot of 20-year-olds. I don't know what he's on or how he does it, but that dude will play a 2.5-hour show and be running like across huge stages the whole show.
Real musicians. They did drugs, they smoked, they did all that. And I don't even care how they look now. The fact that they can still get up and rock it out is like impressive AF to me.
Yeah.
I don't care what they look like now. Though I do get a little depressed sometimes seeing like, what was it when James cut his hair and
Yeah. Yeah, Metallica and Queensryche, that'd be a good show. Yeah, there's a lot of good shows that I've seen. That was my jam back in the day for sure. When an expensive show was like $25-$30. Now you can't even buy a freaking beer and a hot dog for $30 at a show.
And that was a show where there was probably like at least 30 bands playing or like 18 bands playing, or like the flyers had all sorts of people.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw Nirvana.
Sometimes they didn't all make it, but
I saw Nirvana for $5.
no.
Yeah, and I didn't even know who they were.
I never got to see Nirvana.
Yeah, I had no clue who they were. Just this club I would go to all the time. I just left one night and drove there. I had no idea who was playing. I got there and it's like Nirvana. I'm like, who the hell are these guys? And I went $5 to get in. The place was packed. New upcoming band, Nirvana. Like, Nirvana, who is that?
That's probably one of their first tours out of there.
Yeah, $5.
What kind of music were they playing?
A lot of stuff. Like, their current stuff, that like off their first
came
album.
out on their label.
Yeah.
Wow.
I saw tons
Teen
of good
Spirit?
bands.
Did they do Teen Spirit?
No, I don't think they did that one.
Polly Want a Cracker.
Yeah, I can't remember what they did. Because like I said, I hadn't even heard of them. I didn't know who they were. But yeah, it was a good show.
They had one before that, I think. Or was that the first one?
Yeah, it's on 9 Inch Nails.
Love.
Still remember I had whatever, I can't remember the name of the album. It was the one that was like kind of blue and purplish, pinkish purple on the color on the album. And I had it on CD. And my friend, I was working for him at the time up in Jacksonville, and he had just built this kick-ass monster stereo. He's like, oh yeah, man, these speakers, he had these speakers that were like 5-6 feet tall. He's like, you got anything with a lot of bass? And I was like, I got this 9 Inch Nails CD that drops pretty hard, it's not like full on, like low down bass, but it one song where it's like it hits pretty hard. He cranked that thing up and blew the living shit out of his brand new speakers.
Right when you said blue, I looked at the word blow from Nirvana. That's funny. Bleach was what came out before Nevermind in 1989, so it was probably stuff off of Bleach, like About a Girl.
Yep. Yeah. It was the whole Bleach run for sure. And probably stuff that didn't make it on the album.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I say, I didn't have a clue who they were. And I was
20 or 21 then when that.
Yeah, I was pretty up on music, and Yeah. I saw a ton of bands there that, for like $5. It was crazy.
Because that's when grunge was wanting to like make their way and get popular.
Yeah. Saw the Violent Femmes there, $5, hanging out front, talking to them after the show, and just like normal dudes.
That's how it used to be.
Yeah.
Or just after the show's done, if you're still there, like in the room, whatever, and then they're like gonna get some beers or do something, it's like then you just end up everyone's just like chilling and
Yeah.
partying.
My funniest rock show story was I think it was a place, I want to say it was at the Milk Bar in Jacksonville. I can't remember where it was, but TSOL was playing. And after the show, I walk out to like where the bar is, and the lead singer from TSOL is sitting at the bar, and we just start bullshitting, just talking, and I'm like, yeah, man, you guys sounded freaking awesome, and we're just talking, and this drunk dude comes up, and he's like, no way. And he's just freaking out, and I'm thinking, oh geez, I wonder how much they got to put up with this. The dude was freaking out because of me, not the dude in the band. He had known me from making surfboards, and he's like freaking out, and the dude from TSO was looking at me like, who the fuck is this guy?
That's awesome.
I could not get rid of the guy, man. He was stuck
That
in
is hella cool.
I'm like, oh man, this is like so awkward right now. Like, who the hell is this guy?
Taking my thunder.
Yeah.
That's hella cool.
Oh well, I could talk about bands and music for another hour or two easily.
Me too, and I gotta go pee pee.
Yep.
It's a big Red Bull.
Mm-hmm. God, I haven't drank a Red Bull in like months now.
There's 220 ounces in here, but I only drank this much of it. I mean, this much off the top.
Yeah.
So I can put this in the refrigerator and have all that for tomorrow. I'll get my hair colored.
Yeah, Craig. I got the Twisted Sister album on vinyl, the pink vinyl. It was one of my wife's favorite bands. I wanna rock. Well, anyways, I'm gonna rock my ass down the road, and so is Jamie. So thanks for hanging out with us as always, and yeah, we'll be back again next week, same time, same bat channel. Hasta la vista, baby.